Hello everyone, my name is Chris and in this video I will be showing some of the amazing things you can do during a trip to Jamaica. I will also include the costs of the attractions, food, rental car and accommodations that we stayed in. I will link the accommodations below in the video description if possible. Overall, I spent 9 days in Jamaica exploring the beautiful country with my wife Carol. We started our trip in Montego Bay on the north coast where we arrived by plane. There we stayed at a simple apartment for $95, which was a good deal for the location close to the beaches. We visited 2 public beaches while we were in Montego Bay. One was Harmony Beach Park, which is a new park area that has been built with a beautiful beach. Keep in mind that on Mondays and Tuesdays, no swimming is allowed here as there is no lifeguard on duty. A quick walk from the park is One Man Beach, which is always open for swimming. This beach was pretty much empty when we visited as many tourists tend to either stay in their all-inclusive resorts or go to the popular beaches nearby, like Doctor's Cave Beach that requires a payment to enter. This is a natural beach visited mainly by locals with no facilities, so if you're looking for a beach with more food and drink options, it is better to visit some of the paid beaches nearby. One of the most famous places to visit in Montego Bay is the Hip Strip. Here you will find many restaurants, souvenir shops and beach clubs. Here we ate at a restaurant right on the waterfront called Margaritaville. The prices are tourist prices, so expect to pay a lot more. We ordered the famous Jamaican jerk chicken dish for $21.95 and a fish sandwich for $16.95. I also tried the Jamaican beer Red Stripe for $5.25. The restaurant offers great coastal views and has a fun water slide and a nice swimming area in front. We visited the downtown area of Montego Bay mainly to go to an ATM and to get a SIM card. While you can use US dollars in Jamaica, it's better to get Jamaican dollars as you will get a bad conversion from the local restaurant and businesses if you use US dollars. For the SIM card we used a company called Digicel and I will show you on the screen now the main different plans that they have available and the prices. The downtown area didn't seem very touristy and it was nice to see more of the local Jamaican life, the kids going to school and the people working. The main attraction is Sam Sharp Square, which is named after a famous enslaved Jamaican who led an uprising against the Brits in 1831 and he was murdered in this exact square. We ended up paying one of the local guys in the square to give us an explanation, which made it more interesting. For the rest of the trip we rented a car to get around the island. We paid $50 a day, which was a pretty good deal. Around 30 minutes from Montego Bay is an incredible place called Mathe River. Here you can do river rafting, which is available at numerous rivers throughout Jamaica. It cost $83 for the both of us and the rafts are for 2 people. It was an extremely tranquil experience floating through the jungle for around an hour and I highly recommend it. One of the best beaches that we visited in Jamaica was Columbus Cove, which is in between Montego Bay and the famous cruise town of Ocho Rios. This one cost $4.85 per person to enter and we were the only people there when we arrived on a weekday. Once again, it was a very peaceful experience and exactly the kind of beach that you want to find when you're in the Caribbean. After this beach, we continued towards Ocho Rios and visited Dunn's River Falls, which is considered to be one of the best waterfalls in Jamaica, and it cost $25 to enter per person. We went in alone, but apparently a guide is included in that price if required. The cool thing about this waterfall is that you can go to the beach and see the water flowing into the sea, which is something that we don't get to see very often. Many people then make their way up the falls by walking. It's a pretty sketchy walk up and definitely not for everyone, but luckily they have proper walking decks for people that don't want to do it. Even though we went barefoot, there are water shoes available for rental, which are $5. We could definitely see why it is so famous, and there are multiple different waterfalls that you have access to. The cruise terminal in Ocho Rios is pretty close to the Dunn's River Falls by car. There is a nice colourful shopping area to walk around, and right next to where the cruises stop you have access to Ocho Rios Bay Beach, which costs $3 to enter, and we also saw another Margaritaville restaurant that has its own little private beach area. Next we visited our favourite area of Jamaica called Negril, which has one of the most beautiful beaches that we have ever visited, called 7 Mile Beach. Once again we stayed at an apartment, and this time it was $75 a night and just a 2-minute walk to the main 7 Mile Beach. This beach is absolute paradise with creamy white sand and crystal clear turquoise waters, and we were even able to see big stingrays right near the shore multiple times. One thing we liked about this beach is that there are no tall buildings, and even though there are many hotels along the beachfront, you're not able to see many of them through the trees, which give it a nice natural appearance. We also like that there are still many local beach bars and restaurants, which means that there are more affordable eating options. We were able to have a meal and a drink at a place right on the beach for $10 per person here. You can do many different water activities and boat tours at this beach. We went on a boat tour to an island called Bubiki on a boat called Tiki Pondesi, and you can probably see from the images why we consider it to be the coolest boat that we have ever done a boat tour on. It was basically a boat bar. The cost is $97 per person, which can be considered pretty expensive, but that price included alcohol, so you could drink as much as you want while you're on the boat and on the island. And they also cooked us a nice fresh meal, which was included in the price. One of the most popular places to visit in Negril is Rick's Cafe, a big busy bar with a lively atmosphere and a unique cliff jumping area. If you're looking for relaxation, this place probably isn't for you, but we were mainly visiting to do some diving and swimming. Jamaica has many natural swimming pools and caves. We visited one nearby called the Blue Hole, which looks very similar to the cenotes that are famous in Mexico. It is $20 per person, and it's another place that you can do some pretty high jumping. We didn't spend too long here as it's quite small, but it's something different to do if you're looking for an alternative to the beach. For our last days we decided to try out the all-inclusive experience, which is what the majority of tourists do in this region. We booked a place called Merrill's Beach Resort 2, which was the cheapest we could find at the time, for $200 a night for the both of us. It was a very simple all-inclusive as expected, but we really enjoyed it as it was laid back and right on the beach. The food was good and it was naturally shaded on the beach, which made it the perfect place to relax. Even though it was the cheapest, it still had a few extra things included like kayaking, so we made the most of it. The last beach that we visited on our vacation is called Bloody Bay Beach. It looks very similar to the 7 Mile Beach, but it's much smaller and also has resorts, beach bars and many souvenir shops. Since Negril is on the west coast, it means that you have the most incredible sunsets that Jamaica has to offer, so every day we would spend our afternoons on the beach watching the sun go down. Overall, we really loved our trip to Jamaica and it ended up being even better than we expected. People often ask us about the safety there, and we felt perfectly fine during our visit and never in danger while visiting these touristic areas. We also found the people to be very friendly and helpful. The food was really delicious too. Our favourites were the jerk chicken, escovitch fish and bami, which is a traditional Jamaican cassava flatbread. I will link our Jamaica playlist below in the video description and in the pinned comment. There you will find travel vlogs that we made which shows all the places mentioned in this video in much more detail. Hopefully this video was helpful and gave you some cool ideas of things to do when visiting the country. If you visited Jamaica before, let us know which places you enjoyed the most and give us some ideas of places we can visit next time we are here. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like on the video to help support the channel and subscribe if you like to see more videos of our travels from around the world. Have a good one.